We had another exciting clash between.
We had a night of games, boy. We had a night of not just
another night
just
of
one.
another night of great games.
games.
Facts, but definitely headlined by the OKC Thunder at the San Antonio Spurs. This one ended 130 to 110. All right,
the Thunder
ass.
lose
by belt to ass. The Thunder lose by 20 on the road. Second time in about a week, basically. These guys.
Wait. Word a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Thunder were on the road?
Yeah, Thunder's on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, second time in a week they've lost to the Spurs. Just an incredible game to watch. SGA dropped 33, had 8 assists.
Standard.
Keldon Johnson was magnificent in this game. From first half,
balling, bro.
He set the tone with some big shot making. He dropped 25, huge threes down the stretch. Stephon Castle put in another 24 points, had another amazing outing. He's just having a breakout second season.
Star.
And the Spurs,
he's a star, bro.
The Spurs on a 7-game winning streak, y'all. They snapped the 19-game win streak of the Thunder at the NBA Cup in the semis. And now
16 games.
Oh, excuse me, 16-game winning streak. And now the Thunder visit San Antonio, Danny, and they get smoked. What was your impression of the game?
The score doesn't show the story of the game. It was a little bit closer for most of the game throughout. And then San Antonio opened it up, and it was about 15-point cushion in that fourth quarter. But yeah, I mean, shout out to Christian, man. He's the one that said it. They don't fear this team at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they shouldn't. But again, I'm gonna give this. When I said if they match up in the playoffs, I said at least a 6-game series.
Mm-hmm.
And I give a lot of credit to the home crowd because you know how hard it is to play in that building, and how great I played as a Spur when I came back to play against them as an opponent. As hard as hell. Like I probably had my worst games in that building, but most teams at home is like a +6. They're like a +12, so they're gonna get at least 2 games at home. But the matchup that was the matchup of the night, man, or the guy that I thought didn't really show up for them, is the Chet Wemby matchup. Like. They had Shea do what he's supposed to do, right? He had 33. Jalen Williams could have had a better night, but he had 17 and 6 and 8, right? He played well. Chet 3 for 10, 7 points. And Wemby didn't have a great night. And I think this is the first game he didn't have a block in a while because he's had like, 100 consecutive games with at least one block or like at least 20, 30 games like that. So no block tonight. He didn't score. But the Spurs showed their depth, right? They showed how well guys can come off the bench and score, like Keldon Johnson, 25 off the bench. Stephon Castle's a star, and what I've seen anyway, it doesn't seem like a big part of it because Cornet only had 8, but that pick and roll in that second unit when Castle's with him and Cornet, he always either gets a bucket or Cornet gets an easy lob, and I think Cornet dunked the shit out of somebody. I forget who it was, but Harrison Barnes had a great night, man. They had some key guys step up and show their depth and their value. Again, this is to me, I give more credit to the home court and the fans because I think in a series, I know P's about to get on their ass, but I don't think they still beat them in a series because you just don't give a team the respect of experience until they show they have experience. And I'm going to give San Antonio the same treatment that I gave OKC last year. I thought OKC was good, but I didn't give them respect or didn't think they could win it because I thought they were young and didn't have the experience yet. But Spurs could prove me wrong this year. They showed that they can win in various ways, man. They hooped tonight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Danny, you always speak about, and you're correct, right, about the experience. But I still look at OKC as a young team. Yeah, they won a championship, but when you look down the line, they're still quite young. And I'm not going to discount their championship. You know, they earned everything they did last year, beating Indiana, everything. But when I look at this San Antonio matchup, top to bottom, and then I look at OKC's roster, top to bottom, I don't see nobody else that matches up as well as they do when you talk about youth, coaching, superstar. I mean, you got first, second, and third year players on the San Antonio guy that are like, they're going to be all-stars. And we're seeing that still on OKC. They got guys that are going to be all-stars or have become all-stars like J-Dub and maybe Chet this year, who knows. I feel like they're on the same playing field. And experience does matter because they've been through the war. They knows what it takes. They're going to be in those games. But when you have no expectations and everything you're doing is playing with house money, I feel like this is like house money for the Spurs. Now, as the year goes along, as they continue to thrive, we're going to be like, wait a minute. If they continue to play like this and beat OKC, say they go into Denver, beat a Denver, we're going to put them as the favorite. We're going to say they're the betting favorite because Wemby he's not even starting. He's not even, it's no denying his impact either. Off the bench starting, he's a plus 13 plus minus. That means when he's in the game, we're going to be winning. Wait till he get back into his legs back starting. Man, I'm telling you, man, like San Antonio culture is for real. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the torch being passed from Popovich to the young guy. He's taking all the things he learned from Popovich and instilling in these young guys. And I believe that this team, from
Shout out
what
to
I'm
Mitch
seeing, from
Johnson.
what my eyes are telling me, I
Money
only can go off
Mitch.
what my eyes see. This is a championship caliber team right now.
Look, here's what I'll say about watching the Cup semifinal and watching tonight. So they didn't start Wemby in that Cup semifinal, but when the game started, San Antonio felt shell-shocked. They looked rattled in that Cup semifinal.
Right.
They went down 13-11 very quickly. Then Wemby came in and you saw their confidence growing. What I saw in this game on offense is that they came into this game with the confidence already.
Yeah.
They did not fear OKC's defense whatsoever. Like, you never felt OKC's. 130 points kind of tells the story, but the other thing that tells the story to me, OKC goes into a fourth quarter down by 5 points, and they give up 43 points. This is not just the best defense in the NBA. The distance between OKC and the number 2 defense is the same distance between the number 2 defense and the number 23 defense. Wow. Okay, like this is supposed to be far and away the best defense in the NBA, and the Spurs made it look easy. I've never seen somebody do this to this version of OKC where they just make offense look easy. And then on the other side of the ball, I don't think OKC can expect to score efficiently on these guys. I really don't think so. I don't think that's going to be the case. They're going to have to play better defense. That's going to be their route to winning. It's not going to be 130 points a game on San Antonio. That's not in the cards for them.
No, but that's always been their identity. Their defense lead to a lot of their offense, especially with the others. For San Antonio to score 130 points and not have a big night from Wemby or Fox says a lot. But they shot well from three. Like, of course, if you shoot 44 from three, you're going to beat a lot of teams in the playoffs or in the regular season. So they shot and it made it look easy. But again, just the depth, man. Vassell played well. We didn't even mention him. Dylan Harper, even though he had 4 points, he had 10 assists and 5 steals, bro. Like, young kids on their way. They pitch it in. They're doing their job. So yeah, OKC's gonna have to play better defense for sure. I don't see San Antonio shooting that well throughout the whole playoffs. You can get 1 or 2 games like that, but if they're shooting that well from three, they're definitely a championship caliber. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're shooting 40 plus because they can defend well with Wemby and they have the depth and they're figuring out, other guys can get to the free throw line. And if you can win games without Fox having a great night and Wemby offensively having a great night, that says a lot about your group. So they're gonna come alive when the lights are bright. When playoffs, clutch times, De'Aaron Fox is gonna show up. Wemby's gonna show up. So if those other guys have that type of confidence and can knock down shots, a lot of teams are in trouble, bro. And I know we keep talking Denver, OKC. It might be OKC, San Antonio. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Houston got something to say as well. But Paul, I want to ask you, because I'm watching that first half and watching 2 role guys kind of erupt in Harry Barnes and Keldon Johnson. It was incredible. Like, they just weren't afraid of the moment against OKC. They're like, okay, this is defending champion, best team in the league so far, by far. We already beat them. Let's do it again. And just the confidence that they were shooting the ball. Harry Barnes is attacking Chet like he's some scrub on D.
Harry Barnes.
He's an all NBA defender.
Yeah.
And Harry Barnes was just attacking this guy. What's it like to watch the role guys get going like that so early?
Well, you got to understand, Harrison is a champion. Yep. He's in the locker room. So, like, we talk about inexperience. Well, they have championship DNA in the locker room. So you got to understand, the young guys is over there is like, how is it like playing with Steph? How is it like, what did y'all do in practice? I'm sure they asking questions, soaking it up. The DNA is oozing all over that locker room. And you got to understand, in order to win, it's got to be your role players. They got to have big games because the gravity pull from your superstars, everything is locked in on them. So you got to have quality role players. And Harrison Barnes has been in major battles. He's been in championship situation. Like Luke Cornett, he's been to the finals. You know, they have DNA in there. And as a role player, you know that you're going to get opportunity. There's going to be nights, you know, like, man, they're going to double him. The game plan is superstars every night. But the thing about San Antonio is what I want to tell y'all is like, yeah, we focus on Wemby. But look, and we focus, like, who do you really focus on San Antonio, truthfully? I think they got a number of guys that can hurt you. Wemby is just the center core of what they do. And they're like, hey, we're going to bring him off the bench. I'm thinking like, wait a minute. Are we comfortable bringing him off the bench versus OKC, a team that's usually gets off to a great start and then they just look back and you have the nerve to say, hey, we're going to bring our best guy whose gravitational pull is so heavy that makes these guys better, whether he likes it or not, on both ends of the court. He covers up for so much. This is a scary thing.
Well, it feels like they're doing the OKC thing of instilling a lot of confidence in their role guys, empowering them to make decisions, take a bunch of shots, play with freedom in the regular season. And these guys like play so loose, man. Like they just seem so connected. Another thing I wanted to bring up is J-Dub, because I thought he had a pretty disappointing game as well. And, you know, I think in the playoffs he had his ups and downs. Yeah. However, in the Denver series, in the Indiana series, he did come up big when they needed him the most. I thought tonight, I don't want to say he was timid, but it felt like he was settling a little bit for the three-pointers and not attacking. To me, where I think he should be attacking the most is like actually in that mid-range, like getting to the foul line.
That's where his bread and butter is, right?
Getting to the foul line extended, because it's like, bro, against OKC, like, stop. You're not getting to the you're not getting all the way to the cup. He just looked tentative to me, man. I don't know, Danny. What you think about J-Dub tonight?
I know it seemed that way when I watched the game. But I looked at the numbers. He only took 4 threes. He was 8 for 18. But how much you could have been more aggressive. I still think he's still getting his legs under him. He missed more than half their games. And this could be just a wake-up call for OKC. They need a reset. The last 2 weeks has been rough for them. You know, they lost to Minnesota and they lost Spurs twice. So half their losses come from San Antonio. They only lost 4 games. You know what I'm saying? And 3 of them have been in the last week and a half, you know? So, but shout out to San Antonio, man, coming in and hooping the way they are and not backing down. They're not scared. And Harrison Barnes and Keldon Johnson are showing you what a playoff series can look like. Again, like Paul said, the stars are going to be the stars, but the role players can swing a series. And I think Draymond mentioned this on his pod one time, like, can swing a series. I think it was when he and Kenya Martin was going back and forth with the shit. Keldon Johnson and Harrison Barnes are guys that can really change a series if one of those guys get hot. You know, we had guys like that. Fred VanVleet, you know, myself in certain series. If they show up and you know your stars are hooping and those guys, role players, have the confidence, they can swing or win you a series just by their approach. And I'm sure Harrison Barnes didn't like how the things ended in a cup final. And I'm sure it goes in the back of his mind. Like, he is a champion. He's a true professional. But after that cup final, a lot of people were like, yo, he didn't play well, or he didn't show up, and probably should get the minutes somebody out. Who knows? But I know there's a lot of rumblings and talking shit about how him not playing well in that cup final. And if he would have played well, they might have won. And I'm sure, like I said, their last memory against that type of atmosphere or a top team was losing to the New York Knicks. They want to solidify, prove themselves that they're one of those teams and they can be taken serious. And he wanted to rise to the occasion and have a better night tonight, and he did that. And Keldon Johnson, another guy, he's been playing great off the bench for them all year. So he's been hooping, and he deserves some flowers. I don't know if it's 6th man of the year, but he should be in that conversation because he's been playing double doubles, getting rebounds, not just points, but rebounds too. So he should be definitely in a 6th man of the year conversation.